I like to be with the people. And, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. I had a little trouble finding a place, and this is incredible. What a venue, and how fitting. I wanted to give you a quick update, and then we're going to hear from you. Thanks, guys. But I wanted you to know that, how many of you are familiar with what happened to baby Sammy?
Baby who?
Baby Sammy.
Sammy Nicolaya.
Usually when I speak around the state, I'll have maybe 20% of the people who are aware of it. Here it's closer to 80. Baby Sammy was kidnapped by a government agency that you all know well, CPS. And all because his mother wanted a second medical opinion. They sent 5 police officers to their door, even after the mother was seeking a referral for some surgery that she knew her son needed. The police were involved, and yet they still showed up the next day at their apartment with 5 police officers, a CPS social worker, and the amazing turn of events started when Anna Nicolaya, Sammy's mother, had the forethought, after she had called her husband and said, "You better get home, the police are pounding on the door," and she wouldn't let him in because they didn't have a warrant. They had a CPS order, but they didn't have a warrant. And she decided to roll a videotape. And that changed everything. So instead of, she rolled a video camera. So instead of being another statistic and a victim of this agency, within 3 days we were able to get baby Sammy back in her custody. Because what was her crime? Her crime was loving her child too much. That's really all she did wrong. She wanted a second medical opinion because she didn't feel like he should have surgery today, even though the doctors did. And I didn't know it was a crime in America to actually care that much about your children, to demand the absolute best medical care and be able to make the best decision. But ultimately, that led me to the reform that I am introducing tomorrow at a press conference. And that reform is called Sammy's Law. And it will require CPS in any interaction with individuals, whether it's parents or children, to either video or audio tape it. And I think that's it's hard for them to argue against that, because it will not only protect the rights of the parents and the children, but it'll even protect the rights of the social workers, because there will be a record. There will be a record that can be introduced into court, and doesn't mean that the record has to be public. That can be up to the judge's discretion. They can do whatever they want with any bit of evidence. But right now, as you guys all know, there is no evidence. It's he said, she said, in a Kafka-esque courtroom. And we also tomorrow are expecting the results from the audit that was conducted in 3 counties in the state of California. And it will be very interesting to see what kind of reforms they recommend. I found the one reform that I felt would do the maximum amount of good, but I got to tell you, if I were governor of this state, I would do what Jan Brewer did. I would abolish CPS. I think we can do a whole lot better, and we got to start from the ground up and figure out something that we can use to protect our kids, but not only protect our kids, protect our constitutional civil rights as Americans and as parents. Because it's not a crime to be a parent. And if the government doesn't agree with how I want to raise my kid, too bad. They need to get over it.
Exactly.
I mean, when I see this business now, with this Common Core they want to force down on the education system, every time you turn around, they're trying to indoctrinate us in some fashion or another. And we saw what happened overseas with homeschoolers. They literally, the government doesn't want to let you move out of a country because you might homeschool your children. The government at least our government, was formed to protect our inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And when a government becomes the greatest threat to the very rights it was formed to protect, that's tyranny.
Yep.
And there is no modern word for that. There's a whole lot of modern examples. And what I have witnessed in the hearings and what I know I will hear from you in a moment is some of the most personal and intimate forms of tyranny. And I want you to understand that while I can't necessarily do something about each and every one of your cases, I came here to listen to you and to hear. Because I do intend to become the next governor of the state of California. And I do intend to be somebody who truly understands from the ground up what is wrong and what is right. Because I'm for what works and I'm against what doesn't. And what I see in this system that was supposedly designed to protect our kids, I see parents losing their rights and I see children put at risk. And I see a government that is participating in state-sponsored child abuse. So with that, I want to thank you again for coming, and I'll turn it back over to our moderator so that they can invite each of you to come up and share a little bit, and I will sit here and listen. Thank you.
Thank you.